the winner of this best of 3 is going to Code S.
In the top left of our map.
Yo Flash Wolves Leenock.
Wow, that's a terrible intro.
No, it was fine.
Thanks.
Describes his location. We already know the guy. We described him a few times.
Yeah.
Down near the bottom left in the green for CJ Entis.
CJ Entis Effort.
Sojong recently told me that the Koreans actually call him like the Hawk Zerg, because his face actually looks like a bird's face.
Yeah, a little bit.
And he's got eyes like a hawk. So, or maybe like the Falcon Zerg, one of those two. I can't remember which bird specifically, but
well, you know what? Now that you say that, actually, I did notice that when his coach brings him to the studio, he keeps a hood over his face so he doesn't chase off again after any nerds.
Yeah, I noticed this as well.
Yeah, that's actually that's.
He's always got that leash attached to his top of his hand too.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes Effort sits on it, he rides.
Yeah, really massive forearms for his coach to be able to keep him up there on his wrist.
Yeah. He does sleep sitting up as well in the house. Often perches.
Yeah.
They have trained him well not to screech.
Well, at least in the studio.
At least in the studio.
But to be honest, I think they should let him screech. I think it would show a lot of personality.
Yeah, I think so. With the
gain
sound,
a lot of fans if he was actually a bird.
The thing is, with the sound blocker of his opponent wouldn't be distracting. I think he'd probably be okay. Maybe feel the vibrations of the screech, but it's loud enough.
Yeah.
So it looks like we have pretty much identical builds here. Very greedy, hatch before pools into extra drones here now.
Yeah, again, as I was saying, King Sejong Station, it's like a little bit longer rush distance, so to go for an early pool sometimes doesn't feel the best. But you know what? We'll see what these guys end up doing. See if we get into an actual Roach macro game here. Games on this map definitely can go very, very long, because if you both get into kind of the macro game, where you both have a lot of roaches, to the point where you can't just go over and kill your opponent, then it's like impossible to break each other. You can get into these nice concaves behind chokes or up hills, and then the game goes up in tech, and like later game ZVZs now are looking a little bit different than they were a bit ago, because you know we have Frenzy on Broodlords at this point.
Yeah.
So you can actually use Broodlords instead of Swarm Hosts.
Yeah, true.
So kind of looking like Wings of Liberty almost, I guess.
Yeah, I don't foresee this map will actually go to that point, though.
You don't think so?
I think one of these two players will edge it out before then.
They're super decisive players, so I think you're probably right on that.
I also think that they're both very much, I think they have very different styles, and that means that when two players go for the exact same approach to taking a third base and just kind of poking and whatnot, then sometimes you can have games like that on this map where it's really hard for one player to just take a small advantage and edge something out. But with these two players, that one of them sees blood in the water like that, grab as early and get out. It's like very decisive, like you said, but very different styles, and it really leads to big engagements, kind of like we saw in the last game. Leenock's like, no, I'm going to do something completely different than you. I'm going to make a ton of speedlings, and I'm going to try to be aggressive, and Effort took the more slow build-up type push coming out with his roaches.
What do you think about this? This is kind of cool. Effort taking his third base super, super fast as if he's playing against a Protoss and then adding his 2 gases, whereas Leenock playing much more standard, just taking his 2 gases and then now going into third, which is still a little
Someone
bit
did this recently. For the life of me, I cannot remember it. I don't know if it was at
Maybe
IEM.
it was life, if you said for the life of you. Maybe your brain's trying to tell you.
But this is scouted. The last time I saw this, the build did not get scouted, and Zerg was able to get that third base up relatively early and then just run with the advantage. The reason it didn't get scouted was because he was trying to check something else with his Overlord, and it just was really bad luck. But it's definitely clear that this build is becoming more normal. It's obviously going to hurt the tech of Effort a little bit, and Leenock decides to go into Lair right away upon seeing this.
Well, Effort's getting his speed. We'll see if maybe he turns on some aggression, because this is a quick third from Leenock as well, just not as quick as Effort's, which gives Effort a little bit of an edge when you think about it, because he's getting the quicker speed here, and he has the quicker hatchery, which means more larva. Yeah. And they opened with originally the same hatchery timing, so Effort will go for that aggression, and I really think that this is a good choice. I think he's read this situation beautifully, and with all these upgrades going on, no speed upgrade, 36 slings, man.
Oh god,
he might. I think he kills the third.
Let's see. I mean, that's actually so many. 18.
Yeah,
The
it's
speed.
It's a ton. I think that this
These
is going to be
roach-
tough for him.
These roaches, too, actually, in such a small number, it's almost like he's just going to feed them to the fish here.
Yeah.
They're going to pop out, and any of them that try to engage this are going to die. Only 2 queens here, well positioned, but speed's about to kick in.
Yeah. More roaches are coming in. Sometimes you can mess up the AI and hold this, but I think that third will go down.
Yep. And that one roach over here helping out a little bit will get picked off.
Yeah, and look at this. The queens do have some transfusion energy, which is quite nice.
Yeah,
but
buys them a little bit of time here.
yeah, those transfuses were great. It's just this is a lot of Zerglings.
Those are those roaches, though, that I was talking about. They're coming out a bit too early by themselves. All of these roaches get surrounded, and not only is this great for Leenock, or rather for Effort right now, but Leenock later on is going to have fewer roaches as a result, and already the transition is happening at home for Effort. He's getting the +1, he's getting his own lair. Just keeps making speedlings, though. He's running with his advantage. As long as the roach count is kept small, he can keep doing things like this and catches. The queen catches 2 more roaches here.
3 more roaches.
3 more
now.
roaches.
Another roach going to be going down. More and more lings just coming across the map. Going back after this hatchery.
He knows
Effort taking huge advantages.
He knows he can eventually get this hatchery, but why focus on that when he can get all the units that are spawning at the hatchery first as they come out isolated from the rest of those units, despite the fact that the creep here for Leenock is really solid and connects to these bases.
Look at that. He actually leaves the hatch for a moment. Doesn't want those broodlings popping out after him. He knows he can go back and get it later. Going after these units, running some lings in that main base.
Yeah, I'm going to get a lot of drones here. We'll eliminate, looks like 2 more of these roaches. Needs to get that third base, though. We'll go finish it now, it looks like.
Yeah, there's no way to actually save it if you just right-clicks on it. It's got so few hit points. And there you go. He does take that out. Going after another roach as well, but the broodlings and other roaches help out. And
He's about to have roach speed and +1 back at home with a large number of roaches himself. He's killed so many of his opponent's roaches right now.
Tell me you're not excited to see Effort in Code S this season. Seriously, this is going to be great.
I am, man. I am excited.
Well, we'll see how the rest of this game goes. You know, I doubted Leenock a little bit earlier today on winning one of those games against Supernova, yet he was able to do so. Maybe he can turn this one around somehow. The thing is, without roach speed, he's going to be way outclassed over here.
All right, Leenock now moving across, or rather, Effort, excuse me. Leenock moving across to see what's coming. Sees it there with that Overlord. And roach speed is done. He's coming over.
He's down 38 army supply right now.
I don't think there's any chance he holds a Spinecrawler or no. He only has 3 queens, man. And
I think if he had 5 spines, he might die here.
Even if all these queens have full transfuse energy, I think he might die here.
Well, here we go. The roach is pushing forward, and Leenock losing his army. GG. Effort goes on to Code S.
Very impressive day today out of this guy. I wasn't sure he was going to make it, man.
He's really getting good. Really good. This guy is a force to be reckoned with this season. I'm serious. Like, maybe he goes down the round of 32. Maybe he goes the whole way. His play was impressive today, and I think will continue to grow as such. Leenock, unfortunately, does fall out, but, you know, he's been in a lot of Code S's. I'm sure he'll be back as well.
Yeah. Well, I got to say, with the spoiler alert, Pro League fans, you know, if you didn't tune in yesterday, CJ did lose, so at this point, if Effort now doesn't have to worry about Pro League, can completely focus on Code S, can be totally focused on that because Pro League's not going to start until it's announced, which is a ways away from now.
Yeah.
As far as I know, he's not playing in the Kespa Cup, so this guy's got a lot of time to work with here to focus specifically on Code S. As soon as the group stage is announced, he's going to have so much time to prepare, and I think he's going to go pretty far this season. He could go deep.
I agree with you on that. I really think he's going to go far here. He's good enough, maybe not right this second, but the way he's improving, and you just look at some of his plays, I think he's good enough to possibly win a GSL.
Yeah.
Like,
it could
very
happen,
soon,
man.
maybe even this season.
That's pretty bold of you to say, but I think it's not out of the realm of possibility. Let's take a look at today's results to let you guys know exactly how things sized up here. Terminator goes 4-0 in the group. A lot of people probably pretty surprised by this result, but I think he's, you know, obviously a really, really good pros player, well experienced. His builds against Effort and Leenock, just playing only one matchup, really solid play.
Yeah, it was good play. He was very sharp with it, and then of course Effort comes out in second place, 2-0 Leenock there.
And here are our matches for tomorrow. It's going to be SOS versus Reality. Whoa, and then Hero versus Super. Do not miss those matches.
That's
and then
awesome.
in the evening, Rogue versus Bunny and Life versus Stats.
Fantastic groups, really. That's 2 of the best Zergs in the whole world in Group J, and then 2 of the best Protosses in the whole world in Group I.
Yeah.
Going to be awesome.
Definitely going to be good. Do not miss that. Of course, going to be starting at the same time, 1 p.m. Tomorrow, which is 5 hours from when we started our second broadcast today. And then the second part will be at the same time as we saw today. So going to be just like today, but with even better players every single day.
And even better commentators. It'll be Wolf and Tasteless.
That's very nice of you to say, Artosis. But I'm glad, as always, to have the chance to commentate with you.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun here today. I'll be watching tomorrow, so best of luck with that. This has been great, guys. Thanks for watching. Spread the word. Code A this week, tomorrow, and the next day as well. And then hopefully we'll be getting into Code S soon thereafter. So we'll see you tomorrow.